TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.
And welcome back. You are here and you are watching Talk Show Kings. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming back and joining us for another wonderful episode. We are here today just for you. First, before we get started, I want to give a shout out to our executive producer, Mr. Felix Washington, also our technical director, Mr. Marcus Givens, shout to Marcus, also to our media support manager, Shantae Barksdale. Shantae, we love you so much and thank you for a wonderful job. We are having big fun here on TV 1061, but we got an amazing show put together for you today. Before we get started, I'm going to allow the Kings to introduce themselves, starting to my left.
Oh, you threw me off there. My name is Hassan. A pleasure to join everybody. Pleasure to be with the fellas today. We've got a good show. Looking forward to it. And y'all be sure to chime in, and we welcome and encourage comments and questions, so participation.
Absolutely. And to my right.
And I'm King Sakar from Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston's in the house. Before we go any further, we want to give a shout out to our main man, Doc. Doc, peace up. We're sorry you couldn't be here, but we're going to carry the show on, and we're just praying for you and hope everything works out. In a minute, we're also going to be joined by King Robert, who just stepped onto the set. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned to a wonderful broadcast. We're going to get into it. We got some wonderful topics today, starting off with Hit Us. Cardi B.
So yeah, we're going to start with a little bit of entertainment news. So Cardi B is going to be joining the cast of Fast and Furious 9, I believe it's called.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was talking about this earlier. I have a little bit of a problem with the fact that celebrities or artists sometimes get cast in roles just because of their notoriety.
Right.
I can understand a cameo here and there or a small part, but when sometimes they'll get a main part just because of what they've done in a different area of entertainment.
Right.
And it takes away from trained actors or actresses.
Right. So that makes on that. Do you feel that a trained actor, a 20-year actor, is not getting the role simply because of Cardi B's recognition, her fame thus far?
Yeah,
and even though she haven't acted in a lot of movies, but Hustle did pretty good from my understanding.
Right. Yeah. So that's the thing, and it may be on a case-by-case basis, but I mean, she's not. It's not because of her acting chops that she's getting this. It's because of her notoriety, right? So, I get it. They want to sell her name on the marquee. They want to sell tickets or whatever. But if I'm an actor that feels like I deserve that part, I got a bone to pick with her, or not with her, but with the director or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now go ahead, talk.
I agree with him. Like I said, like you said, if you've been acting, taking acting classes and things like that for years, and you feel like you deserve, the part, then. And somebody else just comes on the scene and just takes your part, you're gonna feel some type of way, like.
But I guess
I should deserve.
But I guess that's the business, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you can, whatever your stardom brings is what you earn. You know what I mean?
Now let me ask you a question: does love and hip hop counts? Because she spent a couple of years on Love and Hip Hop. Does that count?
Who's that?
Cardi B.
The TV show.
I don't count that as acting. No. Even though it's kind of.
It's kind of acting, but
guided, but it's not.
Right.
It's who you are.
So we're talking about the big screen, so to speak.
Right.
Okay, I got you.
I mean, we all know that stuff is scripted and things like that, but it's not acting.
It's just you being you, but it's kind of guided, right?
Right. Now I know a lot of you hip hop fans. I know a lot of you Cardi B fans would saying, "Talk Show Kings, you're hating right now." No, we just have our own opinions, and our opinions are getting back to you and give us some feedback. Comment. Let us know what you think. I just feel And I agree with King Hassan that just because you made an album, you sold 20,000, 50,000 copies, doesn't mean that we want to see you on the big screen.
Right. Like
you know, absolutely.
Yeah, like we don't want to see you in everything. Like,
everything.
Like stick to your script.
And again, like I said, a cameo is different. You want to sell that they're in the movie.
Right.
But to give them a full role, it's like
absolutely. And you already got a big time movie under your belt right now. And I'm gonna tell you, the catalog of the Fast and the Furious. I mean, this is a catalog of movies that we have grew to love. Right. You know, the Fast and the Furious.
Oh yeah, they got
so
a real
absolutely.
Big following,
I mean, they got a cast, and you just can't put anybody.
That's what I'm saying. I'm curious to see how the real following of Fast and Furious reacts to that.
Absolutely.
So, if they're okay, then I'm okay.
Yeah. I saw an interview the other day that she and Vin Diesel did, and it seems like he loved the idea of Carly B being in the movie with him. You know, they had a good interview. They bonded well together. Yeah. Now, I don't know what role Carly B is playing in the movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they haven't said that as of yet. They're keeping that secretive. Right. So we'll know here in the months to come what role Cardi B is actually playing in the movie. Right. But if you feel a certain way, comment. Give us a comment. You know, click into the show right now and comment. We would love to hear your comments about Cardi B in the movie Fast and Furious 9.
Have you seen the rest of them or any of them?
I've watched them. I've watched Fast and Furious all the way from Tokyo to Japan.
I think I stopped at like the 5th one or something like that. Yeah, I think before Paul Walker died.
Yeah, I haven't stopped watching.
They're not necessarily my lane, but I've seen, especially the beginning, a few of them.
Yeah, I love them.
But I mean, but like I said, they have a following that watches. I know a lot of people that see all of them.
Yeah, right.
No matter what the what the critics say about them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Cardi B, maybe they want a certain twist to the movie, a certain I don't know, taste that they're trying to bring to the movie. And if it's what Cardi B gonna give them, then I'll support the movie. You know, let me see it first, or let me see a trailer to make that decision of whether or not I even want to go see it.
Right. I was just looking at the comments. Doc, what's up, man?
He said, hey, Doc, peace.
Doc says, bro, you can never count someone's pockets thinking you deserve it. Regardless of how you feel, you have to keep grinding. I feel you. I feel you, but, I disagree, Doc. I'm just playing. Sheila Dawson Wright, hello, how are you? Shamiki Wright, of course, is tuned in. Thank you for tuning in. It says she spoke, she commented and said she has real life experience with being in that profession. It wasn't a serious role. Right. She had life experience. Okay. Yeah, and again, not trying to hate her. I'm just saying it reminds me of other movies that I've seen where they just throw in a celebrity or an artist, a musical artist, something like that, just to get the name out there.
Right, and I guess our question to you all is, do you think that it's taken away from prime actor and actresses that has went to the school of Juilliard and studied the art of acting, and here Cardi B come in as a gangster rapper, so to speak, and takes a major role in a major movie? You know, that's our concern. That's what we're talking about today. How do you feel about that? You know, actors and actresses that have longevity in the movie industry. Right. And when they go to the audition, what was even said at the audition? Did Cardi B even have to audition for this role?
I'm pretty sure she didn't.
Absolutely.
Because of her name.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what it seems like. She never even had to audition for it.
Yeah.
Who, Cardi B? Oh, yeah, sure. We'll make up. You know, there's like a owner that owns a company, and he has a niece that's looking for a job. And he doesn't have a job for her, but because he owns the company, he's going to make her a job, put her a role in the movie.
And that's what they do sometimes. They're writing a whole script, a whole role for somebody without, Yeah. And again, if she earned it, she earned it. That's just my little view of it.
If she earned it, she earned it. She deserves to be there. Once again, we're not hating on Cardi B. You know, we Cardi B fans ourselves to a certain degree. So don't think that we're doing that.
Yeah, and when somebody who brought up the reality TV show?
I did. I said, does reality TV count?
Yeah, I was going to say, because sometimes those are like, that counts as experience, but I mean, is that really acting?
No.
It's not, right?
No.
It's not acting.
Because it's still.
There's a lot of a script, you think?
Huh?
There's a lot of a script.
I don't know if it's script.
On these Love and Hip Hops reality shows?
I don't think it's all the way scripted,
right.
But you know, I'm pretty sure they do tell you what you can and can't do.
Absolutely.
I think they kind of guide the situations too.
Yeah.
Right. And they kind of put you in the circumstances where they know you're gonna act a certain way.
Yeah.
But they don't quote unquote give you a script or tell you what to say. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest, I hope she does quite well in the movie. I'm looking forward to seeing the movie when it comes out. I think it comes out next year, and they are in filming as we speak. So I think that once the trailer comes out, I think everybody will have an inclination of the movie and get an opportunity to be the judge if they want to go see it or not.
Right, and on the flip side too, as far as people going from different genres into acting,
right? Yeah.
Look at The Rock.
Yeah,
he's like the biggest movie star in the world now. He came from sports to wrestling, from football to wrestling.
Right.
But you have a lot of entertainers that do that. You know, they'll switch around. You know, they'll go from. I mean, even 50 Cent.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and they'll be legit too. They just they get their experience through little roles or whatever.
Right.
But
and then you have to ask yourself when you choose an occupation, if that occupation starts off one way. It may lead over to another way. Like you're a professional model. Your modeling career may not take you to the runway, but take you to the big screen.
Right.
So are people to say, well, Ty Cobb's a model. He ain't got no business on the big screen. So you have to exercise every blessing and every opportunity that comes your way. And whatever comes your way, I think you have to seize that moment. Yes. And I think for Cardi B, she's seizing her moment.
Yes. And you know what, I'm going to backtrack a little bit on Cardi B, because you know what, I don't know what she's doing in her free time. Maybe she is taking acting.
Absolutely.
Maybe she's acting on little small stuff that's not being as publicized. So I'll backtrack on that. Maybe she does deserve it.
Absolutely. And a lot of people, they are born for the camera. If you are born for the camera, a lot of acting that you don't need. Just somebody put a camera in front of you, give you something to read, and you go for it. You know, when she was on Love and Hip Hop, and I didn't even know that she was a rapper. And I had watched the show, a couple shows, and then I saw her in the studio. But who knew that Yellow, what is it?
Bodak
Yellow would turn out the way it did.
So, how long ago was that she was on that show?
Probably about 2 years ago, if I'm not.
Nah,
certain.
I think it was like
more than that.
Yeah, maybe like 3-4 years ago.
About 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, because I never really watched it, but I heard about that.
Yeah, I saw a couple scenes, episodes of her on that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't seem like. It wasn't Housewives. It was Love and Hip Hop.
Love and Hip Hop,
New York.
New York. Love and Hip Hop, New York.
Well, she made a big splash. However, she got there.
Yes, she did.
She got there, right?
Yes, she did. Props out to Cardi B, and whatever she's fingerprints and put her hand on. Much success.
Right. But yeah, so I was saying the other musicians or rappers and stuff like we mentioned, we were talking off camera about Andre 3000,
right?
And how he's in that movie Four Brothers,
right?
And I thought he did a good job, but who knows how he got there? You know what I mean?
Right.
And why they chose him and all that. But I mean, he's been in stuff since then, so you kind of build on it that way.
I ask you this question: can you name either one of you kings, 2 Andre 3000 movies?
Four Brothers. And the other one. The other one he was in.
Nah.
Name 2 Andre 3000 movies.
I can't do it.
You know another one he was in?
Just Four Brothers.
Four Brothers. Yep.
Yeah.
And he played in The Fifth Element.
No. What was he in that?
Yeah, he played in The Fifth Element. He played with Bruce
Willis. He was in, no, that was Chris Tucker.
Absolutely.
Chris Tucker,
Chris Tucker, absolutely.
Yeah. But he was in the one.
Oh, he was in Ink. The Ink Well, not the Ink Well, but him and Big Boy was in it.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I seen it.
Bruce was in it. You know, when they was in the nightclub, he was singing in the nightclub.
That was the Ink Well, wasn't it?
Yeah, some with Ink in it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I guess that's all I had to say about that. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But like I said, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit because I don't know what Cardi B has been up to. She could be at Juilliard. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Or she just could be in Julie's yard. I don't know what she's
Well, in the months to come, we're about to tell. We'll see then and we'll know,
Right.
you know, what's going on behind the scenes. And a lot of actors that come from music that is going on the big screen and going behind the camera. We truly appreciate the art. And we're going to stop right there just for a moment. We're going to take a break, go pay some bills, but we'll be right back. You are tuned in to Talk Show Kings. We're having big fun here on TV 1061 in Douglasville, Georgia. We'll be back.
Hi, I'm Chief Gary Sparks with the Douglasville Police Department. Today we want to give you some safety tips concerning traffic stops. Take a look.
So you look in your rearview mirror and see flashing blue lights. What do? Remain calm. Yield to the right and pull your vehicle over into an off-road area that is safe for both you and the officer. Put your car in park. Remove your foot from the brake and turn the radio off. Remain in your vehicle. Have your driver's license readily available for the officer. Keep your hands on the steering wheel, visible for the officer at all times. If you need to retrieve any items from the interior, explain what you're reaching for to the officer and avoid any sudden movements. Rolling the window down completely establishes a level of trust with the officer and allows for ease of interaction during the routine traffic stop. Be courteous and polite. Be cooperative and willing to follow the officer's instructions. During a routine traffic stop, the officer will return to his vehicle to run the tag and driver's license verification and complete a citation if one is necessary. Once the officer returns and approaches your vehicle, whether or not a citation or warning is issued, please remain calm, courteous, and cooperative. Sign the citation acknowledging you agree to appear in court, and do not dispute the citation with the officer. The officer will give you a court date to explain or defend your infraction.
Okay, ma'am. Like I told you, I did clock you at 51 in a 35 mile per hour speed zone. I did issue a citation, okay? This here is going to be your court date. I just need a signature from you stating that you received a copy of this citation, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Here's your driver license.
Thank you.
Along with a copy of the citation, okay? You have any questions or concerns for me?
No, sir.
Okay, well, you have a nice day, okay?
Thank you, you
Thank
too.
you.
Following these few simple steps will help ensure a safe interaction for both you and the officer.
I hope these few tips help you as it relates to dealing with law enforcement and traffic stops. Not only in traffic stops, but in all encounters with law enforcement. We hope that all our encounters are safe for the citizens as well as for our officers. Again, we want you to be safe, and if you have any problems with the Douglasville Police Department, don't hesitate to give us a call and make your concerns known. I would add that Georgia is a right to carry state, and we hope that if you are carrying, that on these traffic stops and all encounters, please let the officer know that you are carrying. This will ensure your safety and our officers' safety. Thank you, may God bless you, and may God keep our community safe. We are one.
Welcome back, our faithful watchers. You are tuned in once again to Talk Show Kings. We're having big fun at TV 61 here in Douglasville, Georgia. We want to give a shout out to our king that just joined us on the set. I'm going to allow him to introduce himself. Take off, King.
Hey everybody, good to be back. I'm King Robert from Albany, Georgia, repping for the GA all day.
All day represent. We're not going to stop right there. We're going to get back into our next topic, and we're going to let King Hassan take us there. Let's go, King.
All right, so not to beat a dead horse about the police brutality thing, but I got to bring this one up. So there's an 11-year-old sixth grader girl that was causing issues at school. Whatever, I think she ended up. One of the things was she took an extra milk at school.
So they said.
That's egregious, I guess.
Allegedly.
Yeah, but causing trouble with the teacher and everything. So the cop, the police officer that is assigned to the school, ended up taking her out of the building, trying to escort her out, and she was being tough to work with.
Right.
So he ended up. There's a video of it. I posted the video in the chat.
Go watch the video.
Check the video out real quick. And he slammed her into a wall, slammed her down. She's crying. He's trying to get her arms behind her back. And one of the school teachers or administrators is trying to tell him, hey, we don't need to do it this way. He's like, oh, she's still a threat. And I'm like, because I have an 11-year-old girl.
11 years old?
Yeah. And I don't know,
If I have video, she wasn't a real big girl.
Yeah, I mean, she was, whatever it was.
She was
almost bigger than him. Almost bigger than him.
But I don't care. I don't care if she was Godzilla. Right. You know what I mean? She's an 11-year-old sixth grader.
She wasn't even that big, though.
Right, 11-year-old girl.
So anyway, he slammed her to the ground, slammed her into the wall, slammed her ground, trying to put her hands behind her back. And, of course, she's resisting. He's telling her to stop resisting.
Right.
This is a child. And it's just, they rubbed me the wrong way.
And the reason I said that, because one of his excuses was that she was stronger than him. He was like,
he did say that, right?
He said she was stronger than me. That's why.
If
and he couldn't get that arm back though. But if you watch the video, and again, we already have it up, he just keeps coming after her, follows her, and just like, you can see, it doesn't seem like an adult and a child. Like just a big child messing with a smaller child.
Right.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Yeah, she's like, I just want to go home, like.
Yeah.
And he just kept, that video rubbed me the wrong way. When I seen it, I was irritated.
I think that'll rub anybody the wrong way. 11-year-old child
I feel like,
and a girl.
Yeah, I feel like me personally, like once you
want to go ahead and
once you try to slam me on the ground, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm fighting back. At that point, you gonna arrest me regardless. So I'm gonna fight back.
Now I want to say what's really funny is he cites that the reason he even tries to arrest her, because you can't have resisting arrest without a reason for why you're arresting him, and he said it's because she assaulted two of the people working at the school, and then you go back and you can see it off his cam. She walks past one of them and like close enough that the wind made the paper in his hand shake. And then the principal was blocking the door, and she pushed the door open, and he started shouting, "You can't push him out the way to get out the door."
Right. And those were her two assaults.
And those were her two assaults. Yeah. Like you really have to go look at that.
Was any other adults there?
The principal. That was happening in front of the principal. The principal was the one shouting, she's not a threat, let her go. And he was like, yes, she is a threat. And he's like, it was way overboard.
Yeah, and that does, I do remember that. He said, she's stronger than me.
Right.
She was stronger than I am.
Wow. That mother should already be filing charges.
Yeah, I'm
sure. She should already be filing charges.
And I think that's the big thing with the case, because his department started to bring to look into it, and he quit before then. So nothing has been filed. No criminal charges have been filed on him at all.
Yeah, he's only on administrative leave.
Will pay?
No, I don't think that's
okay. Yeah.
And again, I think he quit because his in the interview the captain was saying that they didn't have a chance, to do punishment from the inside because he quit right after. Yeah. And I mean, you look at the video, that's embarrassing. Right. So I can see why you quit.
Right. And that family ought to repost and get some weight behind this video so that more people can see it, so that they can get the popularity that they need to investigate this guy and get something done about it.
Right. And they probably told him to quit.
Right.
So.
And see, that's what's happening is this stuff is happening to us, and we're not doing anything about it.
And I think what this shines a light on is in the schools, because we have this police officer or whoever who's in there supposed to be protecting our kids, and I saw the one video where it's the 13-year-old boy and the police officer pick him up and dump him on his head and all that, and also white police officer, black kid, and I mean, you can see our kids' relationship with the police right there.
Absolutely. I mean, they're almost afraid of them. They're intimidated by them. And I don't care, I see all the time on Facebook where you have police officers that's dancing with the children in the neighborhood playing basketball with the children. But it's always children of color, because they're trying to show all cops are not bad. And understand this, all cops are not bad. But it's those bad bullies, that I can't stand, that put their hands on black children. And it's still hate. It's still hate in the school system. And they take it out on these kids and physically do things to these kids. Say they would have broke that girl's neck or something. Then what?
Anything.
Somebody got a paralyzed child. Absolutely.
Because the cop was insecure at his.
And that's the word right there that I was like, insecurity. Because I mean, the way that this little 11-year-old girl was able to egg him on to the point where he couldn't control himself and he just looked like a fool. Like, how insecure must you be?
Unbelievable. And people wonder why there's a discomfort with minorities and cops. Because and again, like you said, most cops, the majority, are probably doing the right thing every day they go to work. But unfortunately, this is a job. Being a police officer is a job where it doesn't matter. If it's 2% that have bad cops, those are the ones that are going to be reflected. Those are the ones that are going to be brought up when there's discourse.
Yeah, but also that allows an opportunity when they get brought up, because those good cops can say something. They can do something. But that's the problem. They don't do anything. They don't say anything
because it's still that. Police officers go by a unity, a code for each other. And they may see something and still not say anything.
That code shouldn't include.
That's that whole blue shield.
There you go.
But that shouldn't include.
Brutality on
somebody that's doing the wrong thing.
Absolutely. Somebody got to speak up, and somebody has to say something about. Now, I don't have an 11-year-old daughter, but from my understanding, you do.
I do.
How does that make you feel, having an 11-year-old daughter?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure if I was there, and that was my first of all.
I was going to ask you, not to cut you, what would you do if that was your kid?
If I was there,
absolutely.
If I was there, I guess it'd be me getting beat up by the cop. That's not going to be my daughter, but.
Me and my daughter beat him to death. I'm just being honest.
But you got. I mean, you got to keep your freedom in mind too, though.
I mean,
but it's tough to say. I don't know what I would do, but I know that's a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a problem.
Man, can't treat a kid like that, man.
If that was me, he'd get his ass beat.
Hopefully, I wouldn't get shot.
Yeah, you know what I mean, it's just. I mean, how much more do they want us to take because the color of our skin? We've already been through enough. They say that, black people take these reparations and it'll make everything better. Still right to this day in 2019, what reparations, King Robert, what they speaking of? See, the 40 acres and a mule, we never got.
Right. Let me get to a quick comments real quick. Doc said his bitch made ass say 11-year-old female is stronger than him. He needs to be a cafeteria lady in most other policemen.
I hear you, Doc.
Shamiki Wright says most Caucasian police don't even discipline their own children.
Absolutely.
Don't put your hands on mine. Shaking my head. That was hatred. That was hatred. That was fear and hatred. Yep.
I don't think an 11-year-old can pose that much threat.
No.
How much threat can an 11-year-old?
It's a kid.
She was unarmed. It's not like she had a gun waving around.
And it's not like she pushed the principal, like physically pushed the principal out the way. All she did was just try to open the door.
And even if she did, what if she pushed the principal down?
Down
she
to the
ran
ground.
That cop has no business doing all that.
No business doing that. What city and state was this?
I think it was New Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. I'll double check that, but I think it was New Mexico. So note to self, never move to New Mexico.
That state already going through something, New Mexico. That's what the Walmart killer guy was in New Mexico. That's what it was? One of them,
You got a Walmart in New Mexico?
Yeah.
Well, the shooter was. But Donald Trump did say they building a wall between New Mexico and Colorado. He would have the New Mexicans out.
He didn't get the memo yet. The New Mexico prison state.
And that's a shame. You know, it's always a shame when we hear about things that happen to our children. And even here on our own grounds, you know, we go through a lot of stuff. I don't know if you all heard about the story this week at the Walmart. A young gentleman was accused of stealing, taking something out of Walmart.
Right.
But when the police officer got there and tried to subdue the guy, he found out actually that he had the wrong guy. But the guy was trying to tell him, I didn't steal anything. I bought whatever I came here for. It wasn't me.
Right.
Well, they got into a confrontation. The guy hit the officer. And even though the officer had chose the wrong guy, the guy still went to jail and faced charges because obstruction of a police officer is what they charged him with. For hitting the officer in the face, pushing the officer
defending
down.
himself,
And even though the officer got the wrong guy.
That's crazy, right?
So even if you're the wrong person, you gotta sit there and take it.
Absolutely. You know, so they're saying that, hey, you're the wrong guy, we rough you up, and we're gonna take you in the back to say, well, oh, officer, that's not him. Okay. All right, get out of here and go home.
Right.
You know, come on now.
I want to say with all of this, because it's something that I've been wanting to talk about, been on my mind, because watching that one show, you know, just as people of colors and minorities,
right?
Like, when do you feel like it's a good time to talk to your kid, your son, your daughter, and let them, and if you feel like you should have to sit them down and talk to them about it at all, when do you sit down and let them know that people gonna treat you different because of color of your skin.
Right.
You're gonna have to deal with these things in life, and they made a big episode about this again on that Raising Dion, and I thought it was and they had the two opposing. Whether one said she felt like she should hold out till he was a little older, but since this was happening and he was like 8 years old, she felt like he needed to know
Absolutely.
And I was like, I mean, what do y'all think? Me personally, I because of the way things are going, I feel like you're gonna have to let your kids know.
Absolutely,
you gotta let them know.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, you have to. That's the reality. You're
absolutely right. I see a lot of parents that sit down and talk to their children, and the first thing they tell their children that we are equal. Okay, but we're equal to what? I mean, what are we equal to? What are we equal to?
That's true.
Takar, when parents sit down and tell their children, we are equal. Equal to where? Equal to who? King Robert. When parents sit down and tell their children, we are equal.
We're not equal as far as
absolutely.
As black people, we're not equal.
Yeah, but they tell them
under God we're equal, but
we are equal.
In the law, we're not
viewed
as equal.
Right.
Unfortunately.
I will say on the thing, one of the things the mom told him, you're gonna have to be more careful than the other kids. You're gonna have to make sure that you don't put yourself in certain positions, even though you can be completely innocent, and that's what's going on in that episode. He's completely innocent, but he's the black kid, and that white police officer, like the white teacher, focuses on him, and so yeah, like you said, definitely. Everything is not equal, and this is something added for people, minorities and people of color. That's that extra thing as a parent we have to go through and let our kids know so that they are safe. And I remember hearing that just growing up. You hear that from everybody in your neighborhood that man, these white folks ain't gonna do us like treat us equal and all this. You got to worry about this. You heard that all the time just growing up.
Right, and with children, they are young and they are very naive. Once children get to a certain age, they don't see color. But when they get to that age where they can understand and know color, it's always best to tell them then and there, hey, you about to go through something because of the color of your skin. Nothing you did, nothing you said, but by the color of your pigmentation, you're about to experience and go through something in life, whether that be female or male.
And that's what Doc was saying in the comments. He said as soon as they can understand the concept. And real quick, another comment. Doc said if I was there, talking about that school, if I was there, I've told my daughter to be calm and listen to the principal. If she have a problem with that, they say, they say you do it if it's not inappropriate, then tell me. The cop would catch these hands.
Right.
Jacqueline Keith Jones, thanks for watching. Thanks for participating.
Right.
Tell me how come as parents we can't discipline our kids without it being child abuse, but they're allowed to do what we consider abuse and they get away with it.
Right.
Hey man, that's crazy.
Let's stop us from getting away with it.
It's crazy that somebody out there could put their hands on your kids more than you can.
Right.
Exactly. And nothing is done about it. You can't even spank your child now without having to go through DFACS or some kind of custody battle. But you have white men slamming them to the ground with no regards whatsoever of breaking their necks or backs. That's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
And it upsets me, that we keep having to go through this and we as black men, and King Doc said some a while back in one of our segments. Doc said, as black men, we have to protect our women and children. But as soon as we try to protect our women and children, at what cause are we risking being put in jail?
Right.
What can we do, King Robert, Ty-Car?
Yeah.
So what can we do as black men to protect them without risking a night in jail or a month in jail or no bond? Something we don't do, protecting our
or getting killed
or getting killed. Yeah, absolutely, it's crazy.
Because that's what you got to think about. Unfortunately,
and that's what it's coming down to. You got to put pretty much just on simple stuff, put your life on the line.
Absolutely.
And the only way I guess we can keep working towards is, with the justice system reform and trying to do these things where the police can come out into the communities, and we have to work together. And there's got to be a good relationship there between the community and the police officers. And also, because with this particular thing, that cop just seemed like they should have picked up that kind of stuff, that mental, he
in training or something.
Yeah, like that should have been picked up in training. That he can be teased. Yeah, he can be teased by an 11-year-old and get pushed to the point where he got to throw her around.
Right.
So imagine if something big was to jump off. I mean, he probably kill everybody. If something big was to jump off.
Or if she was 12.
Yeah. If he was 12,
What if she was 12?
Yeah, what if he was in high school?
Or a 17-year-old black gay boy. What the hell? But you hold right there.
Yeah, you hold right there.
Break. We're going to go pay some bills and we're going to come right back. You are watching Talk Show Kings. We're having big fun here on TV 1061 in Douglasville, Georgia. We'll be right back.
Are you an artist, a writer of spoken word? Do you have content ready but need exposure? Get to know me. I'm Alicia, host of a new Facebook live stream show called The Flavor, where we promote local and international talent of all genres. Here are some rules and regulations to the videos that we'll be accepting. They must be radio ready, no cursing, no lewd language. You must send us contact information as well as a YouTube link to your video so we can extract it from there. Email us at 1061tv@gmail.com, and we thank you for your time. Do you have content?
Hi, this is Bill Duke, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network.
Hi, I'm Harry Lennox, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network.
TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.
Show. I am so glad that you stayed with us, and if you're still here, then you're still listening to this amazing show. We're going to get right back into the topics, and let's take it away.
So I think we're gonna stay on this one a little bit longer since everybody has a little bit more to say about it. It's a serious topic. So
because I'm still thinking about with the kids, because we right now here in America on our southern border, we have those kids down locked in cages and stuff. And I just think as a parent, how you prepare your kid for something like that, where we go somewhere to be free and you finna be locked up again. I feel like it comes down to one of those.
Absolutely.
Because as Latino, Middle Eastern, African American, there's stuff that you got to let your kids know that the way people will treat you and the way people will talk to you and handle you because of that. Because of that stuff.
And it's funny because I remember coming up, it was like before you traveled abroad, you would have to get kind of like warnings like, hey, don't go to this area. Don't eat this food, don't do this. But now it's people that are coming to the U.S. that are telling their kids, hey, be careful because you might get stopped by the cops and shot if you look a certain way. And I never thought we would have been hearing that for people coming to our country.
But now every time I look at one of those videos, you'll look at, you can read the comments from people from other countries and they just like, they are shocked, surprised, scared. Like
in the U.S., it was not like that before. Or it wasn't as bad as it is now.
Right, times are changing. Your times are changing. But what do we do while the times are changing? And as a people, we are still being treated a certain way. We're still almost the last at the totem pole.
I mean,
so to speak.
There's only so much we can do.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? As people, you know what I'm saying? There's only so much that we can do. I know growing up for me, we never really dealt with, police like that.
Right.
Like, we always, I always, encountered and ran into certain situations, but, we was taught not to deal with them.
You never dealt with the police coming up?
No, we dealt with them, but we wouldn't.
Not like it is now.
You had to deal with them.
You dealt with them when you had to.
Because I can remember police brutality even from the 60s, when Martin Luther King and Malcolm was coming out of this stuff, and going through it. And our parents were going through racial violence at its highest in the 50s, 60s, and even the early 70s. Now in 2019, it's not as bad as it was then, but we're still subjected to it.
Right.
Which means that a police officer beating a black guy is right around the corner, so to speak.
Right.
We're not far away from it happening,
Yeah. And real quick, I wanted to get to some of the comments. Appreciate y'all tuning in and commenting. Shamiki Wright, of course, she's a faithful watcher.
Yeah, faithful. Thank you.
She says you don't have to continue to do the same thing. That's why these situations continue. You can't do the same things and expect different results.
Right.
And it's getting to the point where other races are starting to put their hands on blacks with no fear of consequences.
Absolutely.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And it's spearheaded by that fellow sitting in Washington.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get into
him. A little earlier, and that just adds flames to the fire.
Yeah.
Yep. And some guy named Doc is commenting again. He said, America's a democracy. My house is a dictatorship, and I'm the archbishop. I talk to my kids all the time so they understand respect and don't feel attacked when asked to show respect.
Right.
Tracy Ewing, thanks for tuning in. Do as I say, not as I do. This is our world. You black people are just visiting, is what they say. My only concern is, not really though, she says, what would happen if the cops' loved ones were killed or badly hurt in retaliation, especially if it were one of their own kind? I mean, stranger things have happened. Messed up system we're living in.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
If it is, I'll never say, and Martin Luther King always said, never retaliate violence with violence. And Martin Luther King preached that throughout the South during his years of nonviolence.
But they have to be careful there because everybody's not Martin Luther King.
Absolutely.
Some retaliation.
That's what I was getting to. How do you resist or reform from retaliation? And it's almost just like saying if a white officer came through that door and accused my wife of something, my wife yelled back at him and he slapped my wife. As a man, I got to make a decision on what to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can look at my wife and say, what'd you do? Or, get in some serious trouble. And And that's just crazy. That's crazy. Trying to make that decision.
Right. What was that movie, man?
Like, dang, officer, she's sorry.
Yeah, that's like when Martin Lawrence stand up. She was like, "What if Mike Tyson slapped your lady?" What she do, Mike?
What you do? I got to make a decision. Maybe I'm going to jail tonight. They're gonna beat me up or what?
What was that movie? There was a movie. Terrence Howard was in it. I forget what it's called. But they were
Mama's house.
No, it was what was it called? I forget. But they were they got stopped in like Beverly Hills or somewhere, and the cop was frisking them and frisked his wife, but he was he was like violating her.
That was Crash.
Crash, yeah,
absolutely.
And he's like he's standing like he can't really do anything.
Yeah, man, he
because you are between you can only do so much at that point.
Yeah,
you can fight the cop, but when it's two cops, what's gonna happen to you?
Yeah.
So, but you got to do something, right?
Hey, so
are you there for after, or you finna get shot in the moment?
Hey, so Shamiki said, if you got to make a decision, the relationship is over.
So you gotta take that bullet.
Man, that's crazy. How good was the relationship?
They was just putting something on my books every now and then.
Man. What was you saying?
Hey, bro. Do I need to stay? Am I in trouble?
But now we finding humor in it.
Yeah.
But it's situations like that.
Yeah. Well, you have to make a decision.
That's happening all across this land. Every single day, a black man is having to make that decision.
For sure.
Yeah.
I say, but overall, I guess the only big way we will have change in that, I mean, I guess we got to have more in those communities, more black police officers,
right?
More whatever race you are in your community, those kind of police officers. But it shouldn't come to that.
It should not come to that.
You should be able to treat somebody decent, regardless of what race they are, regardless of where you are. You should be able to treat people like human beings.
Absolutely, because anytime you can stop a white driver, a white officer stops a white driver, and that white driver exits the vehicle, which he's not supposed to do, and gets in that officer's face. What did you stop me for? Why didn't do anything wrong? What are you behind me for? Don't put your hands on me. I ain't doing nothing. I'm leaving here. But absolutely.
That's called white privilege.
Absolutely. But when he pulls over a black driver and he has both hands in plain sight,
right,
but still gets harassed.
That's because they're supposed to be at 9 and 3. If you got them at 10 and 2, watch yourself. But real quick, Shamiki, another comment. She says, "I'm not Martin Luther King Jr. I'm something like Malcolm X. Don't put your hand on mine."
Absolutely, by any means necessary.
JC, thanks for watching. Juanias. Doc said, "I ain't mad at Dr. King." But I say you can't beat me or my loved ones. If I take an ass whooping to get killed, it was worth it to me. In Crash, he fingered his wife. I'd have to take the bullet. Oh, he did. I didn't know he did all that.
Yeah, he did.
But still a bullet though?
Yeah, he did,
Now, you should be able to get him. He's preoccupied. You should be able to get him.
His wife felt so violated after that, you know.
You can slip him in a sleeper real quick. It'd be over.
I don't care who it is. Like you put your hands on whoever I'm dealing with, and we don't have an issue.
Yeah, you gotta have an issue.
That's always been me. Like whoever I was with, no matter who I was in a relationship with, I've always protected them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't play when it comes to that.
And see, one thing about aggressive black men is if you do that to us, and it turns into a fight. Like I'm already going to jail. You know, I don't want to get shot. So the first thing I'm going to do is try to beat you down and remove your guns. I mean, just being honest. You know, I mean that's our mentality. Because you have hurt us. You know, we don't go out looking for trouble. I know a lot of us don't. You know, that's why a lot of families, gentlemen, and you never see them anywhere out because they're scared to go out. They home. Netflix, or popcorn, or whatever you do for your entertainment, you know, you home chilling because it's almost horrific to go out in the streets and enjoy yourself anymore.
And definitely, recently we had terrorist attacks at Walmarts, at people out at fairs and stuff together. And I hate to say it again, a lot of these attacks recently have been white supremacist attacks.
Absolutely.
And again, that goes all the way to the top with them pushing it. And across the world, terror attacks have gone down. Except in the United States was the only place where it went up. And it was with white supremacists. And again, with our kids and everything dealing with the police out here. That's why we have people like Kaepernick who have to take a knee. That's why they have to do stuff like that.
Real quick, a couple more comments. Doc, we need men in the community to police it. We don't need our neighborhoods over-policed. For sure.
Yeah.
Shamiki, you're right. I don't know these black officers sometimes worse. I had an experience with a white cop and a black cop in Maryland, and the black cop was this close to having to tase me. Man.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like growing up for me, like, you know, the majority of police officers were black, and they were treating us, you know, messed up.
So you said they were black?
Yeah, the majority.
Where?
Like just growing, like in Baltimore and stuff like that. Yeah, the majority of the police officers were black.
Yeah, in Baltimore.
And so you know, they would still treat us, you know, like crap.
Man, I got stopped. Real quick anecdote. I got stopped. I was a road trip going to Florida. Daytona area, and I got stopped in. I was going to Panhandle because I got stopped in Alabama. We were going through Alabama. Anyway, I got stopped for speeding by an older white cop, and I was in Alabama. My kids was in the car. I was like, oh shit! Old white dude, Alabama, black bald head dude coming from Atlanta.
Georgia,
So you know, I stop everything. What's the problem? You know, whatever I say, be respectful. And he lets me go, man. He was nice. Wish me luck.
What did he stop you for?
Speeding.
Okay.
Yeah. But I thought, you know, I don't know if this was the untimely demise of the song.
Probably because you had the kids in the backseat.
You ain't got no family.
Oh, family guy. Not drug.
But somebody just brought up Kaepernick, and that's a good little segue because on a little bit lighter note, there's a book coming out that references Kaepernick's his life, you know, post NFL or you know his life coming into what he's done recently.
So like
and
it's a
kids. It's directed to kids, I think, to try to educate them on social injustice and what you should and shouldn't do. And I just wanted to bring that up because I think that's a great thing. That's a good way to get kids involved,
absolutely.
You know, through sports or whatever, into knowing what to expect and what has happened in history. You know,
and it kind of just touches on what we were talking about. You know, informing your kids about what's going on, and I mean, for certain people and certain parents, it might be nice to have a book or something to go and talk to them about and show those parallels and relay it to how it's gonna be in real life.
Absolutely. And instead of your kids knowing who the baby is and Gucci Mane, they should know who Kaepernick is, and know what he stood for, and his method of holding his own and believing in what he believed in. Because a lot of children, they are believing in the lyrics to rap songs.
Right, man. My daughter said something about the baby earlier, man. I almost DDT'd her. The baby.
And instead of learning more about your history, and I think children need to learn more about their history so they'll be better prepared, you know, as they face this world that they're. If you don't know nothing about history, but you know, roll it up, split it up, put it down. Wow. Yeah.
Wait, what song is that?
You know, I don't know.
That's his own though.
Absolutely. More about where you come from and where you're going as a Afro-American human being.
And not just people like Kaepernick. I want to give a shout out to a really interesting good dude, Elijah Cummings. Representative Elijah Cummings, who passed recently.
Absolutely.
And I got great respect for that man. I always saw him, you know, heading up stuff in the House of Representatives, and he was always fair. He was always nice, no matter what side of the house you were on. He was always respectful and allowed you to say your part, and he also said his part. And, you know, he used to march with Martin Luther King back in the day, and he put a lot on the line for us. And I just, you know, my prayers to his family. Great man.
Shouts out to the Democratic from Maryland, Elijah. Peace to you. May the God bless you.
That's funny because he resembles John Lewis.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I met when I was with my kids at Cheesecake Factory up in Buckhead. We met John Lewis, and we took a picture with him. And then obviously they didn't know who he was. I explained who he was.
Absolutely.
But when I saw them together, Elijah, they look pretty much exactly alike.
Absolutely.
I was like,
Elijah's a little taller than he is, though.
Okay, yeah. But it just reminded me of that.
Yeah, excuse me.
But yeah, that's unfortunate, man.
And so overall, I think that book, what Kaepernick's doing, I think it's important. And we need more stuff of that, definitely for our community.
Right.
And to speak on, like I said, that's a special case for people who are minorities or people of color that white parents don't really have to go out and do that extra step and talk about with their kids. So it's nice to have, him go out and, try to help out a little bit.
And that blows my mind. The whole situation with Kaepernick still blows my mind because of how it originated and how it's been perceived. But we got to take a break. Go ahead. Yeah.
Make sure that, and we're going to keep you posted when the book does hit the stands, when it goes out. I'm quite sure it'll be on the bestseller list. So follow us and we'll let you know. But right now, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You are watching Talk Show Kings. We'll be back.
All right.
So many Black lives incarcerated. So many Black lives silenced. When will we stop the madness?
Welcome back to the broadcast. We are live here at TV 1061 in Douglasville, Georgia. But we got some wonderful news to tell you. You can also catch us live streaming on YouTube. Go to the search bar and put in TV 1061 and voila, you will be joining us on Talk Show Kings. We would love to have you. We're having a great show. We're going to start back with our topics and we're going to go straight to the king himself. King Hassan.
No, we're gonna keep it rolling. We were just talking about what were we talking about? Kaepernick's book.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I just think that's a good idea. I think that's important. And like I was saying before we stopped, it's like the story needs to be retold to people that aren't really up on it from the beginning.
Right.
Because it seems like somehow he was against like the military or United States or whatever, and it wasn't even like and the purpose of it was to bring attention to police brutality towards black and brown people.
Right.
And if you're against that, then you got to look at, there's other stuff in your life you got to deal with.
Right. So if you have been following any of the police shootings, and it started out with the police shooting in New Orleans, where the young man they was fighting under the car, so to speak. They was in like a little shop or something. When the police officer shot him, and they was talking about, he has a gun, the big guy.
Oh, when they had him on the ground already?
In New Orleans?
Yeah, in New Orleans. Yeah, that's what.
They already had him pinned on the
absolutely,
ground.
already
had
him
a gun and then shot him.
Well,
that's the one that was selling the cigarettes? Or no?
I was saying not that. The one in New York.
No, not the one in New York. This was in New York, and I specifically followed this particular case right here. This was like it all jumped off when he got killed. And then the guy in Philadelphia got killed when he was in the car with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend was filming everything.
Oh, yeah, I seen that
then the guy in New York who was selling the cigarettes, they choked him out. Yeah. And Kaepernick just really had enough of it. You can only take, even a doormat get tired. So with all this said and done, football season, the black American football players want to stand up, take their hats off, put their hand on their chest and salute a flag that is pretty much, now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the flag is killing us, but what the flag stands for.
Right.
It's killing us.
Right.
And Kaepernick just didn't believe in that.
And also,
so
and also that's his right that he's exercising.
Absolutely.
And it was I can see if he did it like during the game, he went to the middle of the field and did it. But he did it on the sideline. He's not, if you can't protest there, I don't understand.
Absolutely.
And they made it out to be like he's some villain. He got blackballed from the league. Really?
Yeah.
For taking a knee outside on the sideline?
Right.
That's crazy to me.
That's real.
And they're like,
crazy.
he deserves a second chance. A second chance at what? He didn't do anything wrong.
Exactly.
They act like he did something wrong in the first place.
He deserves a second chance to come in and not say anything.
Right, yeah, you got one more chance, but this time you don't say nothing.
But you got white Americans burning the flag. You even have Hollywood actors and actresses that in their days before they became who they are, that has set the flag on fire.
Right.
Burned the flag. Nothing
And to me,
with them.
you know, that's a different. To me, that's a different story.
Right.
Like I'm not saying go out and burn the flag.
Right.
To me, a flag is just a flag.
Want to.
Burn the flag.
You can burn it if you want to.
And he just didn't want to salute the flag. Not burn
All he
the flag.
all he did was take a knee.
He just, I'm not going to stand for something that I don't believe. Y'all, man, basically he said, man, y'all killing us.
Right.
And you want me to salute to a flag that I do just not believe
say
in.
I pledge allegiance to the people who are killing us.
Absolutely.
I pledge allegiance to Donald Trump.
Maybe you probably could have got a better reaction if the president was actually kind of, on the right side of all of this, but he goes and
doubles down on
it. And I mean, and speaking on the NFL, to the owners, what he feels the owners should do.
Don't let him play.
Get those SOBs out of here. And all that.
You shouldn't even be involved in that. Stay over there. I mean, you got countries, wars, all this to worry about, which, I mean, he never does because he's always in somebody's business.
Exactly. The only sitting president that has spoken up like that in terms of our professional sports and our professional athletics, have a sitting president pretty much had anything to do and comment on what the players was doing and what the players were not doing was Donald Trump.
Yeah. Get to a couple comments here. Chi Williams. The narrative is all messed up, period. It's sickening and I'm over it all. To the extent of bearing arms. Yes, I did just say that.
Right.
She said, I don't care if I'm being emotional. I'm just over our blood on the street.
Right.
Very Ashaka Shakur.
Right. How much blood has to shed before we as, and it's crazy because we're here today and blood is being shed. Think of after we're dead and gone. How much blood is going to be shed still?
And unfortunately, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen.
We were born black.
Right. And that's what's going to happen. It sucks that it's going to have to come to that, but it's going to be a retaliation, a big mass retaliation.
Right.
And then it's just going to start, whatever, it's going to start from there. But it shouldn't have to come to that.
I was going to say, hopefully it's not going to come to that.
Right.
But how much?
A lot of the kids and people who getting added to the pool these days, they do seem to be stepping more away from that.
Right,
and I feel like we get more numbers of people who at least don't feel that need to hate people because of their race.
Absolutely.
And I think that also comes from the point when, you have black people moving from slavery to going into the working force to like earning their own stuff. You have that white person who coming from that moment where these people were like locked up to now. Definitely today, they can be my boss. They can work on the side of me. They can earn more than me. And a lot of them cannot deal with that, do not like it. And I feel like definitely with the kids as we moving forward, you getting people a little bit more away from that. Right. They can see you for the person that you are, and they can understand why you get paid a little bit more. You be doing some stuff.
Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
But yeah, all of them, everybody can't see like that. But
yeah.
That's the hope of the future.
I hope for the future, man.
Yeah,
I think that's where they going.
And I think you're right. I think you're right. As the country
Jesse
gets,
Jackson said, "Keep hope alive."
Yeah.
Keep hope alive.
Jesse Jackson still.
That's all
still
you can
speaking.
do.
He's still go out there. I mean, I see him pop up every now and then.
Yeah, every now and then again. He's still
been around,
affiliated with the AC. His push project, Rainbow Push project, and he still comes to a lot of AC. I'm a member of the Concerned Black Clergy, and we meet every Monday. And he'll pop in when he's in town. And represent the ACLC.
Jesse Jackson.
Still
he's getting old though.
Yeah, he's getting old.
He's probably hanging out with Robert Kraft and them. You know.
Right. Still look good.
But what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think like you said though, as the country gets younger, if you will, the younger people start to get older and make the decisions.
Yeah, and
it's more tolerance and it's more open-mindedness, I think, but it's just taking forever to get there, man.
Yeah, you know, Alabama voted in the youngest black mayor, you know, in Alabama history. A young guy, 21 years old, got voted into the new mayor of a small town in Alabama.
Was that right?
Yeah.
That's something.
Congratulations. So, absolutely. So we can start somewhere, you know, and if a lot of
baby steps, right?
Absolutely, and if a lot of black young men start thinking politics. You know, a lot of our black men, they don't think politics. They're thinking about throwing the touchdown on Sunday, shooting the three-point jumper during the week. You know, think about some politics sometimes.
I'm one of them.
Keep on exercising, though. Stay in shape.
Absolutely.
Stay in shape.
No, I would just say I'm one of them. You know, I was never really into politics like that.
Absolutely. You know,
because I think everybody's so concerned about, you know, their brand making money, and rightfully so.
Right.
But until we get people that represent us, that can relate to us making laws and making decisions, that's when it'll really change. Like you said. So like Doc always says, vote people in, vote out the idiots, vote in the right people.
Absolutely.
You know, and the change is coming. Like I said, it's just slower than I think everybody's.
And then because sometimes we kind of take steps back with people like Donald Trump, and I ain't gonna even say it's his age,
right?
Because it's a state of mind, it's a mindset. Because there's people up there who are Donald Trump's age who not thinking make America 1910 again. There's plenty of them like people.
Nancy Pelosi probably is older than Donald Trump. You know, her mindset is not like that. You know, Donald Trump is a one mindset type of guy.
I get to his comment. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Shamiki Wright said Jesse ran for president in '88. And that's how many people voted for him, 88. That's terrible, but probably accurate though. Chi Williams says, racism is disgusting. We're assimilated now, black and white families, it's the laws.
It is.
I think we need new forefathers.
How are we going to get new forefathers?
I'm not sure. But her next comment says,
you restart the country.
Her next comment said, I agree with Hassan, so she's all right with me.
All right.
Don't know what she agreed with. Good.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like I said, we're making progress, man. It's hard to see all this stuff. Week to week to week, it's always something.
Always something, week to week to week.
You know, it doesn't necessarily always affect somebody that we directly know. But it just hits home though, because it's people that look like us that are being affected. You know what I mean?
But even touching on what Chi said about new forefathers. I'm just saying it's written in the Constitution that it can be ratified, it can be changed, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then at a certain point, I mean, at their time, 1776, they were having their revolution,
right?
And we don't have revolution since, and this country has been founded and refounded since then,
right?
And even if we do need to have, maybe we do need to have a moment when we go back and now with a rainbow coalition of people relook at it, change it, and re-sign it, because I mean you can keep that original version there too, because that's the one, but we probably need a re-signing with more with a more diverse type of cast of people instead of just all those white men who got to sign that Constitution.
So is it a time for change?
Yeah,
absolutely.
For a time change.
Time for change.
But there's so many people that are the constitutionalists that don't want no matter what, don't want to touch anything in the Constitution. When a lot of it is just, you know, it was written for certain times.
Yep.
You know, i.e. the gun, you know, militia.
And I guess that's the thing. Who you gonna trust to go in there and do some rewriting and some touching up?
Again, that poses another issue.
We keep saying it's time for change, but when is the change actually really gonna happen? When is it gonna come?
That's a good question.
Absolutely. When is it gonna happen?
Change always comes, man.
It always comes. You know, it comes at the best of times. You know, I'm a strong believer that when God, we not on God's time. God is on His own time. And when God make up his mind to come in and to make a change in our lives, then he's going to do it at his time. We just have to be patient enough to wait. I may be dead and gone by the time that the change comes. But as long as the change comes for our young people so that they won't have to go through life, you know, worrying about being called a nigger, so to speak, when they know that's not their name. You know, even to this day, there are school kids. I watched this video, and the school kids said to this little black girl, little white girl, "You're just a nigger." And I don't think that the black girl probably never heard nigger, because she didn't know what the white girl was talking about.
Wow.
You know, she didn't know.
I've been seeing a lot of videos lately, where it's like a lot of, you know, white kids or, you know, kids that are not black, they're saying nigga a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like saying it casually or calling it to somebody?
No, just saying it, like, you know, they're getting the fights and stuff like that, and they're saying the word nigga. I'm like, hey.
Absolutely. And I thought we buried that 5 years ago, but if you listen to every rap song, in a lot of comedians, they using it still.
Oh, yeah.
So they took it away from white America, but as long as you black, you can still use it.
I'm saying, don't insult me. Don't insult me.
Absolutely.
You get all those, you get all that privilege. I can't have the one word, like, don't call me that. You like whipped, had my own family as slaves and stuff, and was calling those things. We kind of, we use it different, and even in that, you know, maybe. Yeah. We shouldn't, but I don't want to tell nobody what they can and cannot say.
Right.
But you gotta, I'm just saying, as a white person coming at me with that word, you got the right to use it, but then you might have to expect something.
Shamiki Rice says, black people weren't there when the Constitution was written. Be careful what you ask for. When they went to war back then, and black people don't want no trouble, even when trouble is kicking down the door. I noticed we are reactive creatures. She says that was the first time she would have been slapped by an alleged nigger.
Wow.
Now, wait, just to that, to my sister, let me say, we weren't in there, but we were one of the issues. Because even when they was coming together, the 13 colonies to fight England, one of the big things was a lot of them, when they was writing that Constitution, wanted to keep slaves. And there were actually some, even at that point, who didn't think slavery, that say that you were going to have slaves in a place where you were talking about freedom, was a right thing to do. But those ones who needed those people to fight with them against the English had to bend the knee on that and accept slavery into that, so that they could fight the war against England and have this land over here.
Absolutely.
So I mean, maybe if we was in the room, we could have said something.
No, we was in the room. We was just serving tea.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's terrible.
That is just really terrible. Tell you a quick story.
Yeah.
Going through my neighborhood, driving down my street, white guy in a car, follow me in my car. You know, he on the blowhorn, and he hollering, "Hey, nigger, where you going, nigger, where you going?" I said, "I'm going home." He said, "Oh, nigga, where you going?" I said, "I'm going home." He said, "Whose fancy car that you driving?" I said, "This is my fancy car." And I pull up in front of my big old house. He said, "Hey, nigger, whose fancy house is that?" I said, "This is my fancy house." He said, "How'd you get it?" I said, "From praying." He said, "Can you pray with me?" I said, "Yeah, I'll pray with you." I said, "What you want me to pray for?" He said, "God, make me a nigger."
Oh, my God.
And there's just one for you.
You know what, about halfway through, about halfway through is when I realized you was making that.
All right. You are tuned in to Talk Show Kings. We hope you had a wonderful time. We hope you enjoyed this broadcast, and we'll be right back again doing the same thing each and every Sunday. But guess what? You can also catch us streaming live on YouTube. Go to the YouTube channel, type in the search bar, TV 1061, and we'll come and subscribe to it as well. But we want to give a wonderful shout out to our executive producer who makes this thing happen for us, Mr. Felix Washington. Shouts out also to Marcus Given, our technical producer who makes us shine and look good on camera every single weekend. Also to Miss Shantae Barksdale, who is our media support manager, who gets us live and up and running. Support coming to the page, and to these wonderful kings that I serve with here every Sunday. We want to close it, and I'm going to say to my wonderful wife, I love you. Thank you for being my support, and I love you so much.
I'm going to say I love all of you. Thank you for your support. Keep on watching.
That's right. Appreciate y'all with the comments and everything. See y'all next week.
Yeah, appreciate y'all for the support. See y'all next week.
So tune in next week, same time, same channel, TV 1061. We're having big fun in Douglasville, Georgia, and we're out.
TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.